Hello and welcome back to Awakening to Your Story TV, the place to learn, get inspired, and be supported on the journey of life. I am your host, author, emotional heart expert, and heart enthusiast, Alicia Hartzell. Today's question made me pause a little bit longer than most of the questions I receive. It deals with kind of a touchy subject, and any answer can bump up against fear and create reaction and judgment. Now that said, I always try to speak, teach, and support you from my deepest place of integrity of heart. And so I'm going to approach today's topic in the exact same way. Today's question is this. Dear Alicia, how do you deal with humanity tearing itself apart? There is just so much negative stuff happening in the world. I'm not naive enough to think that it's new, but it does feel like someone has tossed accelerant on it. It seems like every time I turn on my TV or open my social media, there's a new horrific story. I go back and forth from outrage, where I want to do something, and burnout, where I just want to hide under my covers. Is there a better way to deal with all of it? Now, I am right there with you. The yo-yo or ping pong of extreme emotion seems to be a common experience in today's day and age. When there's a traumatic or horrific situation happening, it activates a fight or flight response in us. You can feel it in your bones and your blood. That pit that you get in your stomach, or that place where you feel your blood pressure rising, or you just want to scream out in outrage, that is all part of that fight or flight response. It's really taxing on your body with stress, hormones pumping, you're depleting your adrenal system, and there's an undeniable physical response going on. This is one of the reasons why you ping pong. You can only take so much of that before your body wants to tap out, and you want to retreat back to the comfort and the safety of your covers. Now, there's two things about this fight or flight response that I find really valuable that I want to bring your attention to. One is that to fight, you must create separation. That separation allows you to know who it is you're fighting. This is why we are seeing so much more of the them versus us mentality and language. As more of the population activates fight or flight, more people step into ownership of division. From this place, there's little chance to hear, understand, or figure out things between the two sides that have been created. It becomes more about conquering or proving your rightness. It accelerates into belittling or taking over or yelling over people or doing whatever it takes to project the fear and the thoughts that are inside you out into the world. Now the second, and this is where it can get touchy, you can say all the right words, but if you are plugged into fear, then you are multiplying and creating more fear. Fear holds all of those stressors on your body, and no matter how right your words are, there's this feeling that says, but I am right, so I should be able to overtake and make people understand. Fight for what I know to be true. You gear up for it and you fight for your truth. You fight the people who are against it or who believe in something different. But here's the thing. All the rightness in the world doesn't unplug you from fear. If your words are aligned with love and everything that you believe is right, but your energy is plugged into fear, then you're breeding fear. So now that I've explained these two things a little bit, I want to talk about what we can do to help that inner ping pong. Everything comes from one of two places, love or fear. You have the power to make a choice. You can choose to plug into the fear or plug into the love. Once you make that choice, all of the energy that courses through you in that expression carries with it that particular energy. So when you see something like a mass shooting or a terrorist attack or a social injustice or whatever it is that's on the news or in the social media that is being created by other people's fear, you can choose to unplug from the fear and plug into the love. Now let's catch up a little bit and let's talk about what I mean by love exactly. Love as the alignment of your humanity and your divine truth. This is the light that exists when your divinity and your humanity are expressing together. It is the energy of your soul's wakeful harmony, and it holds congruence with all things. For me, it feels like the complete divine alignment where all that chatter in me falls away. It is a space where all things are possible. Imagine it just for a minute. The energy where fear cannot exist. It's in this absence of fear that humanity can start to discover a language of love. But this love goes far beyond humanity, and it flows right into the soul and the divine. So if you're unplugging from fear and plugging into love, then you are finding your soul's divine alignment. In that space, that outward fight or flight quiets, and an inner centered place is created for consciousness, wakefulness, discovery, and it allows the truth within you to rise. I personally deal with humanity tearing itself apart by unplugging from the fear and plugging into the love, then holding that space of love and connection where fear is vanquished, not just for myself, but for others. My alternative to swinging back and forth from outrage and fatigued hiding is to plug into the love rather than the fear. Then I can witness all the things that are going on through that filter of love. This gives me the opportunity to stay present, curious, and open. It also expands my compassion and hope for humanity. It's hard. I'm not saying that it's easy to unplug from fear, especially when it's such a visceral experience, but you have the choice. I have an acronym I want you to use the next time you see something that charges up that fight or flight response in you and has you plugged into fear. Take the word love. Use the L to remind you to look to see that you are plugged into love. Then use the O to remind you to own your divine truth. The V reminds you to vanquish all that fear. And then the E reminds you to embrace your ability to rise and create space for that love, not just for yourself, but in others. This allows you to create and hold space out in the world that is based in love. Now, there's endless ways to do this outward expression of divine alignment. Maybe it's giving to a cause that helps support your truth. It can just simply be talking about it with your friends, or engaging with other people, or even posting from that place of inner alignment on social media. Your energy to love has the power to ripple out and counteract fear for others. Remember, separation is an illusion created by fear, and you have the choice to plug right back into love. Now, until next time, know that I am holding a space of love for you where your power to unplug from the fear and plug into the love is undeniable. For more support, information, and inspiration, join me at awakeningtoyourstory.com.